I haven't been around for a second because I have this creature who ended up on my doorstep meowing away, literally at my door, and I couldn't say no. She's so small, literally too young to be away from her mom, but what are you gonna do? So I don't know if I can keep her, but I named her Leo, and she's amazing. Very feisty, very full of energy, but very loving. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. She keeps meowing at the door. I'm trying to keep the cat separated for a second. She keeps meowing at the door, so I thought I'd bring her out, but maybe this is a terrible idea. I wanted to talk. Oh God. Okay, this is a bad idea. That was chaos. She's so funny though. She's so cuddly. She's like a total shadow now. She thinks I'm her mom. I've never had a kitten before, and I've kind of been preoccupied thinking, what am I going to do here? My older cat, who I love to bits, does not really like other cats. So we'll see. Anyway, I have tried to make about 3 videos, try to get that light, talking about information as idolatry and how we're still eating from the fruit of the tree of knowledge with the internet. And I think that they are deeply linked. I think that Satan he's not very creative in his tactics he is, but it's all very derivative. He kind of has the same shtick and just plays it over and over again in different ways. And we fall for it over and over again. But it's the same base where he is just trying to take the worship away from God, is my belief. It's a lot deeper than that, but I haven't exactly expanded on that before making this video. So what I do want to talk about is that I'm online more than I wish I was. I usually listen to YouTube videos all day long while I'm working. You know, I'll be working on my art or working on a project, and I have something playing in the background. I subscribed to tons of Christian channels, tons of different things, and a lot of Christians find community and understanding and fellowship and comfort in these communities and in different people who speak online. They speak about their experience, they teach on the word, and it's all seemingly innocuous, but with like this, Satan he wants to go after the church, so he always infiltrates the church. And in every single movement, in every single little doctrinal niche, he has agents like steering the flock away from the absolute truth. What he'll do is like he'll plant in these agents who seem very, very knowledgeable. They come out with content very consistently. They speak with great confidence and eloquence, and they espouse their wisdom and knowledge to the flock. So the flock, hungry for spiritual food, loving to be fed by people who appear to know what they're talking about, appear to have the fruits of the Spirit, and are full of information, they latch on. We latch on to it, and we feel satisfied. We find community, we find meaning, we learn new things. We do learn new things. That's the danger of the way Satan works, though, because he uses the truth to lie to people. It happened in the garden. He's doing it again. And he has these agents in these movements and different groups and different eschatologies to have people, Christians, believers, put their faith in doctrines, in people, in movements, more than in God. And I think this is so important to know the difference of what when you're consuming something. Like, are you ever placing more spiritual value or more of your energy believing in someone who, is very seemingly knowledgeable about something like the little season? Are you putting more faith in your belief that we are in the little season and that Jesus already came back and the cathedrals were built by angels or whatever, and the Cabbage Patch Kids, and we're all, our generation has basically been psychologically uh, vaporized our memory? Are we investing more of our time, more of our energy, and more of our worship and attention onto these pieces of information than we are on God? God should be an ever present focus in our entire day. It has to be. He has to be. And I'm guilty of like wandering off all the time. I wander off into my own wants and desires. I wander off into my distractions, and I will wander off into new and interesting doctrines that, may or may not be true. What I'm saying is that these agents, if you latch onto them and these doctrines more than you believe in God and more than you love God, they will eventually flip the script, because people are like following them and following these belief systems. When Satan wants to flip the script, all these people are going to vouch for his coming, is my belief. I think that he's really, really setting the stage for his arrival, so to speak, on the world stage. I know that's also an eschatological belief, and I don't cling to it, but I'm exploring this idea, and I'm noticing these people who pop up everywhere who seem very, very knowledgeable on things that seemingly recently just came out into the sphere, and all of a sudden there's like the guy to follow. And I just find it very suspicious. I'm very suspicious of people who just give me that energy. I'm wondering where they're coming from. I'm wondering if it's of pure intention. And we have to be so discerning. We have to be as wise as serpents. We have to think, unfortunately, a little bit like trust no man. Nobody is good, because nobody is good. We're all fallen. We're all sinful to different degrees, and we're all susceptible to being deceived and deceiving others in turn. And I think that more people, especially true believers, should be careful with what they espouse online, what they claim to know about the Bible, about doctrines, about eschatology, about even their own walk. Like, we have to be humble and meek in our faith. Like, I don't see a lot of that. I don't see a lot of humility. I see a lot of people absolutely certain that their doctrine is right and that they're walking with God the most, and that they've got a word from God for September, and that the rapture's on Tuesday. And it's a nightmare. It's a mess what Christians are doing, what we're doing. We're falling for all of this stuff all over the place because we're hungry. And I think that we're in a time of sort of lousy shepherds, and I don't think there's enough true shepherds of the flock. And I mean, I can't find any. I really can't. Every time I think that I come upon someone who, and even I have to check my own biases, because I'm like, well, when I come along to someone who I agree with, I'm always exploring my own beliefs about the faith. My faith is rock solid. That's what I need to deepen and latch onto. And some of these doctrines and eschatologies can help build our faith as like the layers of the lies become more obvious, as we like peel back the veil, and the evil of this world becomes more obvious. It can really deepen our faith and really help us pull ourselves out of the world, pull ourselves out of Babylon. But I'm not really, I think there's a lot of room for deception in that seeking of knowledge, in that idolization of knowledge. Like, when we think about how addicted we are to our phones and the internet, it's like I have it on all day long, and I'm just like, it's just filling my brain up. And I'm like, sometimes it's good. Like, I listen to a lot of different pastors and preachers, but like lately I've sort of been like, man, I just maybe silence is better. Maybe silence and no information, and like just praying, like praying without ceasing, like thinking about the Lord day and night, meditating on his law in every moment. I think it's a better way to walk for me because I'm addicted to the internet, and like any addiction, it steals your other moments from you. It steals the richness of your life from you by proclaiming to be something better than your real life and your relationship with God. And I know addiction quite well, and the internet is probably the most insidious, most powerful addiction I've ever dealt with, and I think that we have ever dealt with as humanity. And yes, this is kind of turning into another YouTuber person saying to get offline. So I've been wrestling with this topic and wrestling with my own intention here. I know a lot of people feel the need to speak, and that's good. I think that people should be speaking, but I think that we should all be really careful with what we consume and what value we place it in our lives. I think all of this information should come secondary. We don't even need knowledge that much. We need faith. We need faith the size of a mustard seed. He said that would be enough to move mountains. We don't need the constant flow of new information and the dopamine rush and hits that we get from whatever, thinking we have it more figured out than the next person, or thinking that we're more awake than the next person. Or Satan is steering people really, really hard right now. I'm watching my friends who I still keep in touch with who aren't believers, but come close, literally be corralled into exactly where Satan wants him. I feel like all of this stuff about like Agenda 2030 and WEMF and just the disclosure of everything being so awful and stupid and corrupt is intentional. It's intentional because I think that the false light is coming to wash all that away. It's being brought to the surface so that the false savior can come in and proclaim that he has defeated evil. But it won't be Jesus. It will be the other Jesus, I think. It doesn't matter how it goes. I'm just noticing it, and I'm noticing this, that people who follow this stuff so closely, they don't spend time with God, they don't believe, they don't do things in their community, and they're generally a little bit lost in the way they live their lives. And I feel like this information flow is substituting our connection to God, and I'm guilty as anything of being enthralled by it. I'm enchanted by it. I'm still enchanted by the fruit. And I think that Satan, that's how Satan's going to get us again, is by the fruit of knowledge. We don't need to know as much as we think we do. It's okay to be uncertain. You don't have to find security in what eschatology you believe in. You don't have to find security in the rapture coming tomorrow. You don't have to find security in that we're in the little season and now everything makes sense, so now I can relax and stop thinking. It doesn't matter. Those shouldn't be as consequential as our deep faith and love for God and love for others. That has to be first. And examining ourselves and our thoughts and our condition and our spiritual condition, and drawing near to God all the time in every thought. Like, I go through my day and I'm like, I take every thought captive. If someone does something that bothers me and I kind of have that knee-jerk flesh reaction, and I'm like, no, come back, understand where they're coming from. And God gives you understanding. He'll give you wisdom. You'll know why they did that, why that person did that. And he'll almost like wash you clean of being upset about it. And I'm working on this with him. I believe that it's part of our walk, and it's important to not even sin in our mind. If we start ruminating like I do, but if we live by that and we start like watching these things go down like Charlie Kirk, and like if we latch onto this like and emotionally invest, that's how Satan is going to trick us again. He's going to trick us to get us where we want. This is all a psychological operation. This is all his stage show at play. And this apple box with the bite taken out of it is how he's going to do it. Yeah. So I think that came out a little bit more gentle, but bold, and from where I wanted to come from, because a lot of my other videos that I made on this topic felt accusatory and hypocritical. So I think that was probably all I had to say on that for now. So wish me luck with me in this cute little cat named Leo, and I will hopefully be making more daily videos if God moves me to do that. All right, thanks.